Hi, I'm Mickelle Weber, founder and auteur of House of Peregrine. Expat, immigrant, pioneer, none of these were a fit, but Peregrine describes what we are all about perfectly. Those that craft their life story with intention. I've spent the last 6 years in awe of the life-changing connections and stories I have experienced while living abroad, and believe it is time for this adventure to be recognized, celebrated, and elevated to the life stage that it is. Through these interviews, I hope to connect those living internationally more deeply to both the place they are living and with themselves and those around them. We cover everything from international finances and meaning-making to global parenting and relationships to make your time abroad more intentional, edifying, and full of beauty. Find us at houseofperegrine.com, where you can find more ways to connect with the ethos of Peregrine. I hope you enjoy today's guest. Let's get started.
If you've had the experience of landing in a new country and felt yourself stuck in survival mode or just unable to keep up, second-guessing every decision, this one's for you. In this most played moment with Erin from episode 40, she brings a social work lens to international life and gives us this reframe. Survival energy is okay at first, but it shouldn't become a way of life. This simple shift is his permission slip to live in the now, or as Erin says, buy the plant. Let's hear what she has to say.
As they say, kids are on your Wi-Fi, right? Like they're on your
Totally.
Wi-Fi. So if you're not well, and that survival energy gets you to where you need to go. But what are some ways that we can identify this survival energy maybe? And it is necessary, we should say, like in those first few weeks, it's important, right? We don't want to say it's not important, but we don't want to be in it for years.
No.
And it easily becomes a way of life if you're doing international moves. And so what are some ways we can recognize this and maybe get out of it if someone can't call you yet, but they can start recognizing in themselves the survival energy or survival state that they maybe can take a step out of?
Well, I'll give you a really good example. So for me, I had this list of things that I needed to do, right? One of them was figure out how to use the dryer. I could not figure out how to use the dryer. It was an old dryer. It was damaging my sheets. And I was like, I think something's wrong with this. And everyone kept pushing back on me. The landlord, the relocation person, they kept saying, do this. And I was like, there's something wrong with it, I think. But I doubted myself. Here I was, this woman who has done laundry for 30 years. And finally, they sent someone over and the guy, repairman, came and he unplugged the dryer and he said, don't use this. This is a huge fire hazard. Don't plug it in. And at that moment, I was like, everything is so new to me that I'm doubting myself in everything. So to answer your question, I think we all have to just allow ourselves space every single day to just get outside, go for a walk, do a meditation, just because all of these little things that you're used to doing just keep adding up. And that's survival mode, right? You're just going from one thing to the next. All these little things that you are used to being part of your life, they're just routine, are new and they're challenges. And those things just keep piling up. So when that happened, I thought, okay, I have to figure out how I can every day get out and just take care of myself. We call it self-care. Take care of myself so that I'm in a better space to manage these things. And also looking at my list, I don't have energy today to do 10 things. I have energy today to do 2 things. Figure out.
But back when you were in a country you knew the language, perhaps, or where you're from, you could do 10. Your new reality is 2.
Exactly.
2 takes the same as 10. This is not a personal failing. You are doing a lot. And so that shift is really important.
Yes.
And I am allergic to the word self-care, I have to say, because when I had little kids, everyone would just say, you just need self-care. I'm like, no, I need community. I need a village. That's what I need. I don't need self-care.
But that also is taking care of yourself. That is taking care of yourself. You're meeting your needs that way. So whatever you want to call it, I hear you around self-care, but
no, I use it all you can. But what I think you're saying is you're saying self-care is also community. Self-care is also caring for your family. Self-care is also contributing to the betterment of the international community. So your caring for yourself is not optional.
It is not optional, because if you are not your best self, you are not going to be able to then help your family, be in your family, participate, feel happy, whatever it is, manage your day-to-day life, go to work, all of those things.
Yeah. And as true as it is when you're in, your home country or where you're from or where you speak the language, whatever you want to call it, it's doubly important here because this is not going to end. This is your new reality.
Yeah.
Things will get easier. You'll learn the language, but then there's new things.
Yeah.
And so I
Yes.
think making this a practice and budgeting your time differently is a super important paradigm shift. I think that if people got to that earlier, these big crashes might be less
Yes.
common. And we've all had them, right? Big and small, even if it's a
Yeah.
day or a week where you're like, why is this so hard?
Yeah. Yeah.
My partner and I still have them. Today we had one.
Totally.
Why is it so hard? And it's like, oh, right. We're doing a lot.
Yes, we are doing a lot. Yeah.
And so I think that paradigm shift early on of this is not a luxury. This is your life. This is harder. And also a lot of other great things, but really taking credit for the things you're doing in a way I think is really important, and making sure that the paradigm shifts and you're still not thinking you need to tackle those 10 things on the list, or that you can even.
Yeah.
That is a really good. You also are bringing up some really good points about how community functions. So I'd like you to talk about your team. I really loved you use that word, your team, or your people, because you no longer have family or your friends. You're rebuilding your entire social structure. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that? I love how you're bringing the social work aspect and the mental health and the international together so we can look at it all at the same time. And so what does that look like for people? What's the strategy?
Well, so the first thing I would like to say is everybody has a different way of, everyone has a different comfort level of putting themselves out there. So I am the kind of person, I have a background in communication and community building. So for me, I love to network. I love to meet new people. I prefer to go to situations by myself so I can connect with other people that are there and meet new people. That's just who I am. So for me, what I tell people is be clear about how you feel about connecting in a community. Do you prefer to have a one-to-one setting? Do you prefer to have an art class? Do you like to exercise? Do you like to, whatever it is? For parents who come, they have more of a social network already built in than people who come that don't have children or who have children that are in high school, right? There's just different levels
drop-off is a way to feel surrounded by people.
Yes. So for people who have kids, use that time. This is what I tell everybody. When you go out somewhere, put down your phone, be available, look around, be available to talk to people. I think that sometimes it's really hard for folks that have moved here and aren't sure, because we hear this a lot, how long they're going to be staying here. They often don't want to connect, or maybe haven't even consciously thought that, but don't connect because they're unsure if they're going to be staying. They don't feel, it's hard to connect when you're not sure. I might be leaving. And I think even for me, that was the way I felt in the beginning. And I know a couple of people that have, and as we experience in this life, lots of people move away. But I just decided that I'm going to connect with people as if I'm going to be here forever, because otherwise I'll never feel connected. I'll never feel settled, and I'll always feel this uncertainty. And that to me doesn't feel good. So I just think you have
to
sort of
mindset shift, right? Like that's a mind shift.
Yes.
It's an impermanence. It's a recognition of impermanence and letting that be okay.
Yes. And it also is opening up yourself to heartbreak a little bit, because you might become very good friends with people who then move to another part of the world. And I think we all want to protect ourselves a little bit. And I even experienced that when we first moved here. I got this question a lot. How long are you going to be here? I felt like that was one of the first questions. And I was like, what? Why are they asking that? And it was like they were also assessing, do I want to connect with her if she's not going to be here? But I just feel like you want your home to feel nice. I say to people, buy the plant. People are like, I'm not going to buy a plant. Buy the plant. You don't know. anything can change. Just
Yep.
get it, help yourself
You could be here 8 years and you came for a year.
yes. You could be here for exactly. Yeah.
And also the plant can go to a new home always.
Yes. To somebody else that's coming here. Yes.
But buying a plant is a really good example of this idea of stalling your friendship, stalling your growth,
Yeah.
stalling your, and a lot of people feel it
Connections.
in with travel, right? Like I think the first year we traveled to like 5 different countries or something. And we're like, yeah, this is our life now. It's full. And then you kind of come back and you're like, but we don't know anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit. I love that you say you're opening yourself up to heartbreak, because you are. And that is just, again, one of those paradigm shifts. Like it's now part of the territory for you. You
Yeah.
don't get the meeting incredible people, meeting aligned people in rapid succession sometimes without this reality of this community does do a lot of moving around.
Yeah.
And you are one of those people now. So you also, I always say everyone's a flight risk, right?
Totally.
So a friend will
Totally.
say, we need to have coffee. And I'm like, oh God, are they leaving? Like, that's my
Yeah.
thought.
I haven't heard from them for a while and then they want to meet. Oh
Yeah,
no.
I have like this radar that's like,
Yeah.
oh, they were asking about like, there's these certain markers that you're like, oh, they're leaving. So I feel like I now have like a professional radar for when people are thinking about leaving.
Yeah.
Because that's also a process, right? Starting up life in a new place is a process, but also shutting down and moving on to the next place is a big process, and it happens very similarly for a lot of people on the emotional side.
Yeah. I mean, there's the grief and the loss and the transition right there. You're grieving people that are leaving, they're grieving, everyone's transitioning. I think the thing is that if you look back on the friends that you've had for your whole life, you've had those friends your whole life, and it takes a long time to make really good friends and deep friendships. And you have to nurture your friendships that you make here. I mean, you find your people, but then you have to nurture that. You have to put yourself out there a little bit and invite them for coffee, go for a run, join a group. When I first moved here, I dropped a note in every mailbox in my little block and said, come we're having drinks. And every single person came, and those people are the reason that we stay here. And not everybody wants to do that, but
Find your way. Find your way.
You have to find your way. And I could tell you a million things that I did that worked and a few things that didn't work. And you just, you have to try. And you have to figure out what's right for you. And I think sometimes people don't know. So I can help people sort through that. What's worked? One of the things I do is what has worked, what hasn't worked, what do you want?
Yeah, that's amazing. And we're doing that. You're an extrovert, and obviously.
Totally.
Yeah. But there's a way for everyone to find their way. But I think just pointing out that this is something that everyone goes through and everyone's going to have to figure out. It's just the same as finding a place to live and putting your kids in school. Yeah. Finding your people is should be on your list of, finding your people. And I think the more countries you do, I've talked to people who have, 10 countries they've moved to, or
yikes.
The first time is always harder, but they have a process.
Yeah.
They know their limits.
If this resonated, listen to the full conversation with Erin in episode 40. The link is in the show notes. If you're navigating life between countries, join us at House of Peregrine and subscribe to the House of Peregrine podcast. And like and share this episode. It means the world to us and only takes a few seconds. Thank you. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed our show. For the latest insights on living internationally, join us at houseofperegrine.com to find out how you can connect with our community. Let's craft our life story with intention together.